Okay, and here is bag number 2. Again, we have 3 rows of 12. More than miner's dozen. I think what we're going to do next is the red bone. And that could be followed by, I got Stroke of Luck, I got the black and blue, I got the spades, the cinnamon bone, and some others. But today, I'm going to take a look at the red bone. Let me get them out. And here they are, and they're out. And like my amber bone, I got them with different shields, which I think helps indicate an age. Flying squirrel, bow tie, propeller, got a diamond shield. We got the horseshoe shield, just in case I forget to mention these. And I think that the dog bone, fantastic. I think these ones are in the older ones, but let me get set up and we'll look at them independently. Okay, first up is the Stockman. This is very reminiscent of the 6375. That's the case. Large Stockman. I think it might just be maybe a 1/4 inch short. I think like that might be 4 1/4. This might be on a 4-inch frame. Go check out the video I should have on this that will compare. Hopefully I compared it to a case large Stockman, which makes me think I would have, but I forgot. Some videos you remember and some videos you don't. So just fantastic again. And even the action, lack of stepping, the finish isn't so bad. The bone, I think, is very well done. It's a little bit boring compared to some of my case bone, but it's consistent and they all look about the same. Now these ones, unlike my amber bone, they also got an oil bath. But unlike my amber bone, I didn't take any before pictures. But like my amber bone, it did change the color. It made them more black cherry, if you will. I don't even have, it changed them all pretty, how do I call it? Evenly or consistently. But this one is a smooth red bone. So these were all a bit, shall we say, on the lighter, brighter side. And after an oil dip of only about 4 or 5, 6 hours, I pulled them out. They were getting more dark. And I think the dark is a nice color on a smooth bone. And especially, you can still get the smooth bone today, but you're not going to find that shield. Just fantastic. This has a bit of a cant down. It's one of the few Rough Riders that I'm aware of that does that. That would be, I've noticed the case trappers in the 90s. This is a diamond shield and saw cut. Bolster lock is this particular where this knife comes out of. Freaking fantastic half stop. You guys, that has some tremendous pull. I don't know why they needed a bolster lock on this thing, because that spring locks it up great. You can see that clip point. This thing is just kind of reminds me actually of a GEC for some reason. Did you check that out? Look at that half So a lot of snap on this. I think when you're in the very first video we shoot, that's something I think I probably talked about, or in the video that's out just on that bolster lock knife. Now, bolster lock knife, by the way, just kind of started petering out. I started seeing where one was available here. You know, you could get a couple here, a couple there, and all of a sudden they were just getting down. In fact, I saw some at Chicago Knife Works one week. I didn't buy it. They were like 15 bucks, and went back and they were gone. And so I think I paid like 25, 26 for that one. These ones, I just kind of bought them when I saw them, and I don't remember the individual prices. But this is the finger groove. And I do have an amber bone in this one. And just to pretty much, as I mentioned in there, the finger grooves do not actually play into the ergonomics that much. This one, I love. I bought this one, and it came dirty. The seller I got this from, I think they bought a bunch. Now you wouldn't, a bunch in this case, if you can get 10 or 12 of these. And they were corroded. And when one of my very first Rough Riders I bought had all kinds of gunk on the back. And the dye was coming off in my fingers. And so I scrubbed this and scrubbed it and scrubbed it. Still had dye coming off in my fingers. And I threw it in the oil bath. And I think the dye stopped coming off. So this is the color it is now. And the blade options, just fantastic. Really, really great. Okay, we'll go over to this one now. And this is a lockback, kind of a light trapper. When I say a light trapper, I mean a 3 7/8 in length. This particular one is a mini, and this particular one is a full size. So you get a different idea on that. This is an older one, has the double bomb shield. It's got lined bolsters. In fact, 1, 2, I've been pointing that out. All these seem to have the lined bolsters. No RT on them. It has this very fluid action. Okay, lock back snap. Great transitions across there. Really nice bone. This particular bone turned out kind of plum or black cherry. Very much kind of their half. Yeah, we'll keep that blade out. We'll compare it to the half. And there is a spade blade, which is unlike, when I say half, I mean the mini trapper. This one is not locking. Tremendous fit and finish here. Alright, so we'll keep this one out. Check it out. Here is the mini trapper. So, I'm very, very happy to have that, being a mini trapper fan. It's got the propeller shield. Seems to be built very well. Maybe got a height differential right there. Propeller shield. Looks like not the best, but there we go. There is the mini trapper. And there is the larger trapper. So this might have a muskrat type blade on it. You can kind of see the difference there. See if you can see, just kind of get in there for documentation what the model number is on this one. And we certainly have a different blade on this as well. So check out the spade blade on the lockback. It's got that big old point, big old belly right there. So and then I believe you can see how these two fancy up in size. Let's go to this Stockman. I really like this. I believe this is an RR210. I'll get into there. There's a 205, which isn't as big as this. Let me see if I got it right. I can't read it here. Oh, this is the 205. Okay. So you might be able to find some of these. Not sure if this was the 293 if I'm not mistaken. So kind of a full size. This is like the 75. This would be like the 47. So I do like this size. They're much more pocketable. Okay. Fluid all the way around. Fantastic. Built better than half my cases. Probably than 90% of my case Stockmans. Here is a sow belly. Getting a little bit older. This one's interesting. It's got dual springs down the center. Classic. What do we call that? Sow belly blades. So those kind of, you can see they modify everything. Here's the clip point. Very little bit of a drag in here. It's like somewhere I'm feeling maybe in the pivot. I don't think it's a spring. I think it's the way the bolsters come together, so to speak, and are holding. So that one's smooth. And this spade blade had some nice action. Check out the bone real quick. As I mentioned, the springs on this one look nice. Moving on to another fun one is a humpback whittler or a splitback, if you can see. It's going to have a primary clip point. I do believe that's a hollow ground saber grind. Also very well built. I think the bone looks nice. I think Rough Rider bones, I've said that before, are kind of, they're not random. So, but they're very consistent. And if you guys know who else is consistent and affordable, it's McDonald's. That's the key to McDonald's success. You go into a town, let's say you're on the road, you know what you're going to get at McDonald's. You're going to get the same hamburger you got at the McDonald's at home. See, now we got a half stop with this. This one's old. I'll show you this. Cursive and an anvil tank stamp. So you see when they have that, those are generally old. This is called a dog bone shield. This is just an early knife. There's no model number on this. I may have If you go find the video on this, I maybe did scrounge one up somewhere. Nice little snap. But anyway, McDonald's is not the best burger in town, but you know what you're going to get, and it's worth the money, if that makes sense. And that's kind of what I see with these Rough Riders. Most of the bone looks about the same. Action, I have a dozen of them here, and the springs all seem fine. You know, this one had a little bit of a but other than that, looking good. All right, guys, we're going to close this one up. I got a couple more I'll be working on later today or tomorrow.